Hi, viewers. Welcome back to the Huddle. Today I'm with WagerWire co-founder and CEO Zach Doctor. How are you today, Zach?
Doing great, doing great. Yeah, day
Yeah,
3 of G2E.
exactly. Yeah, I was kind of wondering, what are your strategic goals each year for the conference, and what kind of opportunities does it present for WagerWire?
Yeah, I mean, well, G2E just being the biggest conference for gaming in North America is always the opportunity to get in the room with executives at operators, vendors of yours, potential investors, affiliate partners, things like that. So we're out here just basically building those relationships, advancing the ball down the field with some of these partnership talks, and doing fun interviews like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys released DFS pools in March to kind of expand your fantasy offering. What's been the feedback from consumers in the opening 6 months?
Yeah, no, it's been great. So that was a kind of evolution of the product, right? Where we started out really dreaming this up for parlays and futures bets, and then we started doing pick'ems. And the DFS pools was really just like a natural next step, we thought. And the feedback has been really good. So if you're ahead, basically, if you're in a daily fantasy contest with a $10,000 prize and you're ahead going into Sunday Night Football, you can sell off that entry or you could sell half of it, lock in a profit, let the rest ride. And it really just creates this kind of liquidity and optionality for DFS players that never existed before. And now we actually, some kind of breaking news last week that we announced is that we partnered with Splash Sports, who uses a DFS pool or DFS contest kind of legal framework for their survivors, and we're going to apply that same technology to the survivor entries now.
Yeah, very cool and very exciting as well. And to cap off or start off 2025, you also partner with Birch's Health to kind of form some RG initiatives in responsible gaming. What does WagerWire do to kind of ensure responsible and safe betting from its consumers?
Yeah, we take that very seriously. None of us, me and my co-founders, were from this industry, and we came into what is gambling industry, right? But we don't want to be part of the problem. We want to be part of the solution. I think really just from our core, we're not the house. We don't profit off of people's losses, and I think that differentiates us, and that we're not trying to convince someone to take a bet that they maybe shouldn't, just to have our corporate profits look better the next quarter. So just from that standpoint, I think we kind of have a more objective kind of approach to it all and trying to help the bettors really with tools. And then, yeah, the Birch's Health partnership is super, super exciting. And congrats to them. They just raised a big fundraising round to be able to really have more fuel behind this effort. But it's little things where we're kind of like promoting them and their services throughout the app and throughout the site. Then we're also doing content where we actually have a mental health space, Twitter space every week on Wednesdays for gambling addiction. And Dan from Birch's Health has come on it a couple of times. And so, it's community building like that and really just letting people know that there's resources, I think is the biggest thing, especially in light of this kind of weird New Jersey like situation with the 1-800 gambler hotline really now no longer being a national hotline. Birch's Health is going to be there to really kind of fill that void.
Yeah, absolutely. And that all sounds really fantastic. Birch's Health does some great work with responsible gaming. And I think we kind of see the efforts made here at G2E as well, kind of a nice roundup. But, talking about DFS and the current legal stance on it, obviously, California Attorney General Rob Bonta kind of issued his stance on it and the legality of DFS. Could you see a regulated market for DFS still kind of forming in California eventually, even if it's, months or years away?
Yeah, I hope so. And I don't know exactly truly how this is going to shake out because it seems like, it was an opinion. It's not actually necessarily a law that goes immediately into effect. And so a lot of operators are still operating with maybe more of a peer-to-peer model. But in his opinion, he actually said that even peer-to-peer, he thinks, and traditional DFS contests as well as Pick'em are both considered gambling in his eyes, which feels like a little bit of revisionist history in my opinion, where it's kind of been established already to be okay in California for a long time. I'm hoping that we can get to an arrangement where, companies that I think are doing well for their consumers and, people like Prize Picks and Underdog and these brands and Better, like they are actually some of the few people innovating, I think, in this industry. A lot of the traditional sports books just are kind of moving slowly to bring out new features and new things like that. And I think better, players, betters, sports fans just really want to have like a safe, regulated way to enjoy some action on it, kind of back their opinion of what's going to happen in the game. And then you're seeing prediction markets and things like that popping up now too. But I think that, I'm hoping that we can get to a positive resolution for all of this, and sweepstakes and things like that too. I think that's really more of a an effect. You have the cause and the effect. I think these are really downstream effects of these innovations, which are maybe potentially in the gray area, are really happening because the regulated industry is moving so slow and not meeting the needs of the consumer, right? I think businesses are going to step up and meet the needs of the consumer and figure out ways to kind of fit within whatever framework you put out there, truly.
Yeah, the discussion around California and kind of the future of regulation there has certainly been a discussion, not just at G2E, but many conferences throughout 2025 and the years prior. And, just to kind of finish off, what can consumers of WagerWire, future patrons kind of expect from the company going into 2026 and as we close out 2025?
Yeah, well, it's kind of crazy to think we're already closing out 25 here. I mean, with hockey starting and basketball around the corner and football's in full swing.
Yeah, you
But
always that NFL offseason never seems to last too
yeah,
long.
it's true. It's true. Well, yeah. So I mean, we obviously are very excited about the Splash Sports partnership, and we're working with them to be able to, sell survivors and March Madness brackets in the spring. So that's probably the biggest kind of on the marketplace and the technology side of the business of kind of where we're going next. And then yeah, between really building things out with Birch's Health, we also just closed a strategic partnership with RakeTech, which is an affiliate company who's going to help us just kind of deliver, top of the line customer experiences and, kind of conversion techniques and funnels on our sites and our apps and really just bring us into like the, best of the best from a product optimization perspective. So I think, players can expect to basically just see us in more places, be able to trade more types of contests and bets. And hopefully, we're just going to continue to grow and get into some of the bigger sports books and things like that soon too.
Yeah, we can't wait to see what's on the horizon for you guys. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is fun.